Hi there and welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. This is my first little vlog. I'm not sure if I should call it a vlog or a podcast or I don't know the difference. So I'm going to call it a crochet chat because that's what it is. Crochet chatting. Anyway, today I just want to talk about two things quickly. I hope I've got my one eye on the clock. It's going to be a short little video, and I want to talk about my blankets. This is not all of my blankets because I only keep as many blankets as is necessary in my house. So the rest I give away. The tutorial that came out now last week, part 1 of 6, was a baby blanket for Andre's baby. So I don't have that. Andre has it, his baby has it, and his wife. So yes, I only have the blankets that I want to keep, and if at some point I decide I don't want to keep one anymore, I would give it away. So yes, so let's talk about the blankets. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea or something. Today is quite a hot day in Cape Town, South Africa. I think it's between 26 to 29 degrees Celsius. And I think, Julie, where you are in Fahrenheit, it's in the 80s. Something like that. Let's start with the first one. This is a blanket I made, and it has big granny squares. Now, I never previously used to make big granny squares, but see if you like this. So very cheerful. Bright, bright, bright. Okay. And I watched Katie Jones. I think it's Katie Jones. I was trying to remember the name. Katie Jones. Katie Jones is the one. She's got only one video. But she inspired me to make a blanket with big granny squares. That's the first time I really thought about making a blanket with big granny squares. And I lined it with chenille. I think it's called chenille. It is super soft. Rosalind says you make an evening dress out of this. I said, really? This is dress material? I didn't know. But it is very soft. So I used it to line this blanket, and maybe at some future date I will do a tutorial on how you line, or how I line my blankets, because I don't line every blanket, but this one I did. So okay, so that's one, and I'm just going to throw it over here. There you go. This one was my first lockdown blanket. Now, we all have stories about lockdown. My job went from a very open tap to a dripping tap. So it didn't completely stop, but it went to a dripping tap. So I started crocheting. Every 6 days, a new blanket. This one I made for my mom. There you see. It's just one huge granny square. Let me hold it up like this. You see, it's a huge granny square. And then around the edge, I took little leftover bits that I had and made little 1, 2, 3 round blocks and I I sewed it on so that, and I'm not sure if you can see, let me show you. I used the contrasting color, there you see, with the blue. I used the contrasting color because I wanted that look. You know, you don't always want that look, but I wanted that look. So I like it. And then single crochets for a border. Well, she loved it. She was very happy with it. So let's just put that one there. Now this one is the little baby blanket I made for my firstborn. So this one's 21 years old. It's ready to leave home. For those of you who are not in South Africa, when you're 21, that is sort of the age that you're supposed to be independent and go and live on your own. So anyway, so there is a tutorial coming out for this blanket, a remake. So it's a little bit different. The stripes doesn't run this way, but this way. So, but I loved doing this again. It was done in 4-ply, so it's really thin. It was gorgeous. Oh, and then of course I had a baby, this baby, and then I had another baby. So the second baby also had to get a blanket. So let me get that blanket out first. Ooh, I hope my pile does not, my tower of blankets is still standing. So I made this one, but now the first baby was quite difficult. So Mommy didn't get so much time to knit, to crochet. So this whole blanket would be next to a chair like this in the lounge. And when I have time to crochet, that's when I would go and sit and it took me 45 minutes to make one row from one side to the other side. I timed myself once. It was ridiculously long. So there's a lot of hours in this blanket. But this is what it looks like. Now, it looks like a toddler's blanket because he was a toddler by the time he got it. He was 2 years old. But isn't this gorgeous? So, there is, I mentioned this blanket in my remake of the baby blanket because they're both shells. But this shell pattern, look, I crocheted this when I was 30. So 21 years ago. So I did this is 4-ply. Again, crazy, hey? And it's 4-ply and I wanted to say something else about this blanket now. Oh, and all the ends that I worked in, I actually just, let me see if I can show you. I put just a little border around it. It's a little bit of a stretchy material because you know your blanket wool is stretchy, yarn is stretchy. So you don't want to put something around there doesn't have a bit of a give. Anyway, so that worked well. Okay, what I wanted to say is it's not baby colors because he wasn't a baby when he got it. He was a toddler. So I had to make something that was very cheerful and would suit a baby boy, little baby boy. Baby boy, let's put that one over there. Now this one, some of you might even recognize. I'm sitting on my one leg. My daughter also does that. Then she comes to me and the one leg is then dead. And she walks like someone with a wooden leg. Tick tock, tick tock. But I like to sit like that. I saw this pattern and I thought, I've got to have that. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I think it came in a magazine as a little extra pattern book. And yes, I saw it and I loved it. And I made it. And I'll tell you what I was not happy with after you look at it. Let me hold it up. see this? Beautiful. I saw this and I thought, oh, I have to have you. I have to have you. Like that. Can you see that? How can I show you? Like this. I'm trying to find the best way to show you because it looks the same all the way around. Right? Lovely. I saw this and I thought, I have to have you. But now I didn't buy the yarn for this. I saw the pattern, I've got the pattern, and I just took out of my stash as close as I could get. If they used cream, I used cream. If they used shocking pink and I had shocking pink, I would use it. So it's close, it's very close. But the stitches, you know, they say, for instance, this should be there, but now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double crochet clusters around each of these bigger blocks, and the math doesn't add up. So I had to put around that 2 more rounds to get to the amount of clusters I needed for these blocks to fit in. So I don't know if this, and the same with the cream, I had to add another row or 2. And it was like nearly for every round of blocks that I had the same problem. You know, so it is a bit annoying because you think the pattern is figured out, but now you've got to figure it out. But I'm still happy, very happy with this result. And I lined it with beautiful red. They call it toweling material. I don't call it toweling material. All I know is it's very soft, it's warm, but you won't sweat. But it looks beautiful. I love this. Now let's make space. You can lie there while I sit here. Okay, see. Now there's more space for both of us. This was another lockdown blanket. Lockdown. What do we do when we're in lockdown? I saw this on Pinterest and I just copied the idea. The colors doesn't match. Nothing. This was just scrap, not scrap. Stash is, to me, one ball and more. Scrap is when you've touched a ball and used some of it and less. So yes, maybe it is scrap. So this was made from scrap. And I was busy with this blanket, nearly ending it, when I saw a tutorial where this woman was making something for a baby. And the edge of what she was making for this baby was, what do you call it? It's when, is it cross stitch? It's when you crochet. You crochet, you skip a stitch, you make a double crochet, and then you go back to the one that you didn't crochet in and you make a double crochet. Then you skip a stitch and you do a double crochet, go back to the one you didn't crochet in and make a double crochet. So it's like it twists. It's beautiful actually for any border. I think she used, let me just see. Can you see the border? Let me see if you can see it. It's too light. I think it's too light for you to see. But anyway, it's that stitch. It's a cross cross stitch, something like that. Then the next blanket, the one that you always see on every tutorial behind me over my chair. This blanket, now let me just get rid of this one. I'm going to end up with a pile behind me. So this blanket I made like this. Bigger blocks. How many rounds for each one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the 10th round is the binding color. And the binding color here was like a very light pink. I love these colors. And this was scrap. Like this. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by 6. There you go. I love the colors. You know, some of them look like very bright, some not so bright. But this is the one that I always hang over the chair behind me because I love it so much. I once taught I asked my colleagues who would like to crochet. So we made a date that by, I think it was on a Tuesday night, we would crochet after work, right after work. So they had to bring their hook and a piece of double knit yarn. I think I supplied a few of them who didn't have anything with just a normal little hook and a little ball, like 3 balls, so you can start off. And I think there ended up being 10 or 12 of them. It looked like I was actually a bit overwhelmed. Like, I do well one-on-one in small groups, and to have 12 people to teach, I thought to myself, whoo, what did I let myself in for? So but I just took the next step. So the next step was to say, everybody have their yarn, everybody has a hook, this is what we're going to do. So what I taught them was a copy of this blanket. Now this blanket, a copy, by a copy I mean the blanket that I taught them had a circle. So if you teach someone, by the end of that tutorial, they would be able to do quite a few kind of stitches, which would set them up to go and do just about anything. But what was funny was, if I say, okay, now we're going to do this stitch, it's like this, and 3 of them would be behind me, each with a camera, just taping that next little step. I thought it was hilarious, because I didn't expect it. You know, I would look up and, whoops, here's 2, 3 cell phones, and they're taking that little step. So, taping it. But, and some of them went on to just get it and go with it, you know. And some, it's not for everybody, but at least they tried. So, but that's a good lesson. And in my tutorials, you'll see sometimes I must remind myself that not everybody that watches it can crochet. Someone, like I have friends that want to crochet, but they can't. So now they want to watch my tutorial and they say, but you're going too fast. And you forget when you've been crocheting for years that for someone else, this is new and difficult and that they have to get it. It doesn't help if you go too fast. So anyway, so I try. And I must remind myself often to just go a little bit slower so that those friends that I have that watch and want to do it, can do it. Because ultimately, I want people who maybe do not crochet to be tempted to come and become a crocheter, you know? Let's hang that one there. Now, another lockdown. So this one was, oh, this one I used for my YouTube channel, the banner. Is it the banner? Okay, let's see. Blues and greens. This could very well be a blanket for a little boy. I would think between the age of 3 and 5. I think the little squares always makes it like for a child. You know, I love that. Like this. So this is 3 by 3. So it's 9 blocks, and each block has how many? Granny, let me see. Whoops, glasses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hey, 14. Let me do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 rounds. And the last round is in the binding color. So it's 13 rounds in colors, the 14th round in a binding color. And then that many rows around, let me see how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just granny square rounds. And then these little blocks. And they were also, well, you can see on my YouTube banner, I used the contrasting color to sew them together because I love that. And then single crochets as an edging. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Anyway, that one is that one. I loved it so much that I have not yet given it away. Even though I don't have a little boy. Now this one is the first one I ever made for myself. I've made blankets for many people, but this one was the first one I ever made for myself. And it was the kind of blanket that takes a long time because it is, let me hold it up first. This is half double crochets, like this. Every little square to me is like a piece of art. So that's how I saw it. I looked at it as a piece of art. So I would, you cast on, we're not knitting. We're not knitting. You make 20, it's 20 chains, but you make 1 chain extra because you're working in the second chain from the hook. So that you have 20 stitches and 15 rows. And that is one little square. And let me just try and bring it closer. So, like this. Can you see there? Everyone has something on it. And everyone has a memory. Like this one, that yellow and green. My aunt came to my house and she asked me to show her how to, she made blocks and she knitted the blocks and she wanted to crochet them together or something like that. But anyway, that whole time spent with her reminded me, it was very pleasant. So I put a little block in my blanket. So when I look at that block, I think of that nice time. So that's what our blankets are. That's what my blankets are. If I've made something and there's a nice memory connected to it, fantastic. So, and then one of the people that I taught to crochet, Murray, I will just say your name. She was a colleague of mine. And she then did many of these little hearts. Because to me, these little hearts are beautiful, but I'm into making blankets, not teeny weeny little things. But, you know, anybody can change. You might want to make this, you're just into this now, and then something changes in your life and you develop an interest in something else. Anyway, so I have been toying with the idea of making a tutorial on how to make a blanket like this. A little bit different, because I think what I'll do is I'll pick a few of these things, like a little heart and a little flower and a little something, 3 or 4 things that you can put onto a little square, and then a little square. So it will be 5 things to make, and then to assemble the blanket. And this is my favorite way of doing it. Single crochet squares together. Yay. But now let me just say one thing about this blanket. Now this is little rows, eh? You go from left to right, and then you turn your work and you go again from right to left. You turn, then you do the next row, and you turn and you do the next row until you've got 20 rows. And then now you must join it. So it's fine to join these, but I found to join this, this whole blanket is in double knit. If I join this, if this joining here is in double knit, it pulls it. So I used a chunky cream to join this way. And you can't tell. When you look at this blanket, you think all the joins, everything is the same. But that was a little hiccup that I had to sort out. So we sorted it out. Okay, so that's that blanket. Let's see, there's only 2 more to go. Quick. We're on how many minutes? And then little surprise. So then there is Ophelia Talks Anya's scrap blanket that I did in lockdown. And I was going through Google and YouTube looking for a scrap blanket that didn't look like scrap. I mean, when you make anything, you use something that is priceless, and that is time. And I never used to consider that. I always thought about the yarn. Oh, I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to do that. It's scrap, whatever. But the day came when I thought, you know what? If I'm going to make something, I'm going to use this time well, or not do it, because I'm not going to get this time back. So this is the scrap blanket that I did. But I did it with a magic ball. Now, you've heard me talk about a magic ball. On my Facebook page, I showed you. It's when you use the pieces, if you don't know, the pieces that's left over, that's not enough to do anything with, and you just connect it with a magic knot onto another piece. And eventually that grows into a ball. And then I make another ball, and then another ball. And then I used it to make this blanket, which means there are no ends to work in, which is fantastic. Like this. See? And like this. There's no ends to work in. Now what does happen is, can you see here with the pink? You come around with the pink, and there you go, and it changes color. So that might happen. But does it look bad? I don't think so. I think it looks very nice. I love it. So, And I love, love, love the fact that there is no ends to work in. Who wants to work in all those ends? So, no. So I haven't decided, this one's not finished, because I haven't decided on a border yet. In this YouTube tutorial that's out now, part 1 of 6, I discovered, or not discovered, for me it's new to do a box border. I've heard, you know, people praise it and they say how great it is and whatever, and I've seen it and I've just never sort of liked it or took a liking to it until I tried it. It's heaven. I want to do a whole blanket in that. It is just, I loved doing it. You know, when you find a stitch that you enjoy doing. Obviously, this is my favorite. Granny Square stitches with the 3 double crochets is my absolute favorite child in the crochet world. But I think that the box border is a close second. So anyway, I'm still deciding whether I'm going to put a box border around this in scrap, in a magic ball, so that the coloring is the same, but that it has a nice wide border. See? So I love how this came out. Okay, quickly move on. Time is ticking. This one, my daughter said I should share with you, but you know, it's not something that I'm particularly proud of. It's just something that I like. I like this blanket. There was one year where I didn't take a holiday. And, well, that doesn't really happen because my children are off in December. So I need to be off as well to be with them. So it's quite important that I take a holiday. My coffee is cold, but Liana, who helps me to put my videos together, says, if she drinks it, I say, but it's cold. She says, no, it tastes like iced coffee. Because she loves the coffee I make, so. But I can see what she means. It is lovely. This blanket I made the first year that we had Wi-Fi in this house. And it came December. I think 15 December or something like that, they installed it. There was a promotion. The first 3 months was free. And now, okay, let me show you the blanket. Okay, it's neutrals. It's neutrals, granny squares. So the center is 1, 2, 3 round granny squares. Can you see there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There, I'll put a finger through. There's a finger. And there, from there to there is the small granny squares. Can you see? Small granny squares. Then, of course, I get bored. So now we've got to do something. So then I decided to put 2 rounds of granny squares that has, those little granny squares have 3 rounds. Then I added 2 rows. Is that the word? 2 rows of granny squares that has 5 rounds each. So, like this. Now how, if only I can get rid of my head. Can't do that. So there's the small granny squares, and then there's bigger, and there's 1 round of this and another round of this. So 2 rounds of that, solid, 1 color. Then I decided, now let's take, because now I'm bored with just the plain color. So let's do the last round in squares that have how many? It's got a cream binding color. So before the binding color, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. And then the binding color is a 7th round. So then, you see, look at that. It's all just, now there's too much light behind it, so let me fold it double. Does that help? This actually looks like it could be a baby's blanket, you know, because it's such soft blues. Maybe if there we go. If I fold it like that, you can see the colors better. See, it's such soft colors that you could easily use it for a baby's blanket. Now if I fold it like that, there, I would think this is a lovely idea for a baby's blanket. Baby boy. Just light colors, and of course 2 rounds of single crochet. 2 rounds of single crochet to just finish it off. But I made this in 1 week, 5 days. And my daughter and I were, because now Wi-Fi was new, and my son with autism, we had to now, this was totally new to him, because before that he could only watch 30 minutes of Wi-Fi. So now we had to get him to understand the concept of unlimited Wi-Fi. So how do you go from your limit of 30 minutes and then you must go off it, and he would tape whatever he wants in that 30 minutes so that he can watch it again afterwards. So we just started saying to him, okay, you can have 30 minutes plus 30 minutes plus 30 minutes plus 30 minutes plus 30 minutes plus. So it took about 2-3 days for him to, he would come and ask for Wi-Fi, and I would say, yes, 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, he comes to me and I say, no, another 30, plus 30, plus 30, plus 30, so that he knows it's just on and on and on. Anyway, so very pleasant memories of this blanket. Last one is the tutorial I made of my son's blanket, the Happy Bee blanket, and my daughter posted, made by the Queen Bee. Oh, I thought that was hilarious. Like, made by the Queen Bee? Really? I like the queen part. Anyway, this was so much fun. I am really wanting to make a girly baby blanket in this, but smaller hexagons, so that it is more baby, because it is so enjoyable to make this pattern. Oh, I loved making it. So I want to really make something that is baby in this. So let's see, watch this space. You don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, so that blanket. So this is the blankets. And now this is the end of this little crochet chat. But I want to end off by saying, by starting a YouTube channel, it was something I would never have considered before lockdown. If someone told me before lockdown, after lockdown, you will have a YouTube channel, I would have said, please, crazy, what are you smoking? So now this was really a learning curve for me in many ways. One of the things I had to get over was, get over yourself. Get over what you look like. People are here for the yarn. We are all here for the yarn. Because, I think maybe not everybody, but there are those of us, you can be very critical on yourself. And I'm like that. So I had to stop that. I had to just relax and just be yourself. So that was one of my things that I had to do. And I think to relax was also a big thing, because it was nerve-wracking. It is a big deal, but you get over it, and then you get to a comfort zone. And I must say that the crochet community, it is a community, is incredibly supportive. The people are just so wonderful. So a big shout out to them. Julie of the Whippy Chick was incredibly supportive. She was also one of my first subscribers, and family and friends. I have guys that I know that are men's men, a man's man that has nothing to do with crochet, but because they're friends, they're so loyal, they subscribe. Now, isn't that something that moves your heart, hey, when you see that? So it's like I can compare this whole experience of having a YouTube channel to, you know, when you go to a market where people sell their handmade goods and you want to go there and you're the buyer. You've got money in your pocket. You want to go and check out if there's something nice. And, oh, this is not so nice. So you walk past, that's not so nice. Now the day comes when you're behind the table. Now suddenly, other people are walking by with money in their pockets and you're hoping they're going to buy or be interested in what you've got to sell today. Can you see? So it's a whole different experience to be on the other side of the camera. So to me, when someone, for instance, not only, because people view a video, but if they stop and take the time to like, stop and take the time to leave a comment, in my mind and in my heart, I think, you know, that is a great person because they've lingered longer to do something that is actually kind. So that is fantastic. So I must say thank you so much for all of you that leave comments and hit the like button. And yes, I have now got just over 100 subscribers. So to celebrate that, I am having a giveaway. So today's date, now I don't know the date. What is today's date? Whatever today's date is, when you watch this, from the time that you watch this, for 2 weeks, I will run this giveaway. So, and I'll put the date there. The date, I think, is going to be the 15th of November, I think. No, that's 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks. So if you want to enter in this giveaway and you want to win this yarn, then all you have to do, it's not costing you anything, is you have to be a subscriber and I have to be able to confirm that. You have to like this video and you have to leave a comment. You have to leave a comment. Now, I have subscribers that are in South Africa and some that are in the USA. And I hope some that are in the UK. So for those overseas subscribers, I also want to give something, because if you win and you're in the UK or anywhere else in the world than in South Africa, shipping this yarn to you is going to cost a lot. So I've decided to give those people a $50 voucher at Amazon, because they also sell yarn. I wasn't sure should it be Hobby Lobby or whatever, but I have an account at Amazon, so I can give you, if the winner is not South African, you get a US dollar, $50 United States dollars voucher. That one, I can email it to you because I saw that they have the option that I can email it to you. If you're in South Africa, I will pay the postage for this yarn. So, if you would like this, there is some art yarn. This is Katia Art Wool, and this is really wool. Now let me just bring it closer. Can you see this? Look at those colors. One is enough for a scarf, so I bought two. Okay, so I'm just going to put this yarn one side, so I will quickly run through it with you. This is, I need glasses to read what this is. Merino Solids, the Wool Boutique. and this is 50 grams, so it is 200 grams for them. Look at that. Can you see? It's got a bit of a fuzz. I think it's chunky, but I can't get to the label because I don't want to tear it. They say if you want to felt this, machine wash at 40 degrees Celsius. For normal garments, hand wash in cold water. Do not tumble dry. Cool iron. Dry flat. I don't know why anybody would iron something. But this is, I like the color. That's why I bought it. But this is definitely 100% wool. Then, let me just get the coffee out of the way. This is Katya Azteca. 50% wool, 50% acrylic, and no, hello, that is that's 100%. 50 plus 50 is 100%. So 50% wool and 50% acrylic. I love it. This would make a beautiful scarf. Then, don't fall. Please do not fall. Stay. This is, let's see. What's this? Funky Stripes. Double knit. That's like that. See, double knit. Can you see? Yes. This is 100 grams. 360 meters. Most of this I thought you can use for a scarf or a shawl. This is, what is this? Now in the US you've got Unforgettable, but we call it Picasso. So what's that? Our little knockoff. This is what it looks like. See there? Beautiful. Then this one, let me try and take it without falling. It mustn't fall. This one is your Unforgettable. Obviously it looks like Unforgettable, but we have it as Picasso. But I love the color. Look at these colors. Let me just move closer. See these colors? Is it too close? Oh, I love that. And this is Tropical Double Knit. That's why I bought it, because it says Tropical Double Knit. What? What is that? Barbuda. Barbuda? Anyway, 300 grams, and each 100 gram has how many meters? Come quickly, 230 meters. Let's see if you can see that. See there? Come focus. Can you focus? Maybe if I go out a bit. Yes, can you see there? Lovely. 300 grams of that. There's four of these, and you know Marley Bird has a triangular shawl, I think in a different color, but this is definitely enough for that beautiful triangular shawl that she makes. And I think I've made about 3 of those triangular shawls that she's got there, because they are beautiful. So what else? Without this yarn falling to the floor. It's just, there's only 2 more left. 2 balls of this. I love this. I made a scarf in this. Lazah. Lazzah. 100 grams, 134 meters, 100% acrylic, and it has a shine to it. It says a 6 millimeters knitting needle. It doesn't say anything about a hook, but I think it is definitely, it definitely has a shine to it. Can you see, like that? Lovely. It is absolutely gorgeous. 2 of those. Then again, same as Unforgettable, but Picasso. This one looks like my coffee. Cappuccino. I love it. It's like, oh, these little shades of cream and stone color. Love it. So that is it. That is it. Let me build my little... No, don't fall. Okay, I'll pick it up. There we go. Time to go. So that's it. If you want to enter this giveaway, it's my way of saying thank you so much for subscribing. Then spread the word, and all you have to do is subscribe, like, leave a comment. And I think if you are South African, just put in your comment SA so that I know you're South African. And yes, then I will do this random... Julie, the whippy chick, help me out. What is the word for that thing that you do when you do your draw? The random winner picker. It's an app, and you do it on your phone. Anyway, so yes, then I'll be doing that, and in 2 weeks' time. But you must comment on this video, nowhere else. So in 2 weeks' time, I'll make another short video, because this one's already not short. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, subscribing. I hope you enjoy my tutorials, because I really aim to give you good content and teach you the wonderful world of crochet. And enjoy, stay safe, and be blessed. Till next time. Bye. You always saw my little fingers. Bye.